Any gearhead will know that cheap Ferraris are not commonplace. And typically Ferrari models of any vintage can easily run into the multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. There are, however, a few exceptions to the rule, and by using the Hazard evaluation tool we have put together a list of 10 uber desirable retro and modern classic Ferraris that can still all be had for under $100, zero each, many by some considerable margin. Sure, that's still no pocket change. But we are talking about a Ferrari here, and it's worth noting that as of November 2022, the average price paid for a new luxury car in America was $67.50. So with that in mind, take a look through these Italian thoroughbreds and take your pick of these gorgeous sports cars. Classic Ferrari ownership could be closer than you think. 1985 Ferrari Mondial Quattrovalvole, $25,000. The first question any aspiring prancing horse owner with a tight budget will ask is, which is the cheapest Ferrari to buy today? That answer is, and has been for some time now, the Ferrari Mondial. Ferrari introduced the Mondial in 1980. Although the most popular Quattrovalvole, meaning for valves per cylinder variant, didn't arrive until 1982. The 3.0-liter DOHC V8 produced a healthy 237 horsepower and was capable of 147 miles per hour, which was more than respectful for an entry-level sports car of the period. All this for $25,000, the Mondial is by far the cheapest Ferrari and seriously undervalued, representing incredible value for money in 2023. 1980 to Ferrari 400i, $44,000. Unlike the Mondial, the 400i is more than just underappreciated. It's unloved. Slab-sided 80s styling did not age well over the decades, and neither did the spongy ride nor four-seater layout help convince many that this was a proper Ferrari. Couple all that with the fact that this Grand Tourer still has all the same bills and maintenance costs as any other Italian heavyweight, it's easy to see why the 400i is so cheap today. However, cosseted examples are beginning to regain the love and respect they deserve among the Ferrari community, so not only should a 400i prove to be a rewarding purchase with V8 grunt and room for the family, it also shows promising returns as a solid investment, too. 1977 Ferrari Dino 308 GT for $50,000. The small but mighty Dino 308 GT4 is another example of a sports car that Ferrari collectors for years have belittled purely because of what it is to a Dino. Nowhere on the car will you find a Ferrari badge, as the baby supercar was marketed as a Dino instead in memory of Enzo Ferrari's lost son, and mainly due to its diminutive proportions and the fact that there's not a mid-mounted V12 tucked away anywhere, with Hagerty valuing a good one of these at just $50,000. The Dino is a relative bargain and the cheapest of the 308 range by some margin, but for how long? 1978 Ferrari 308 GTS is $64,300. Pushing the numbers up a little now. The 308 GTS is next in our list of cheap Ferraris, and this model has certainly never had its authenticity questioned by anyone. It's a true Ferrari, for sure, and there's a lot to love about it. While it has the same 3.0-liter V8 featured in some of the cheaper models in this lineup, the GTS powers from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.7 seconds and is capable of 158 miles per hour. What's more, thanks to its rakish styling, it looks as if it's doing half that speed just sitting still. According to the 308 register, little over 308 GTS models were ever produced, which makes this a rare car indeed. Once you factor in that many will have been crashed, rotted out or broken up for parts over the years, good examples will begin commanding more in the near future, so don't hang around if you're keen to get your hands on a cheap thoroughbred Ferrari like this one. 1999 Ferrari 360 Modena, $80,000. The first modern classic offering in our list. The 360 Modena is firmly cemented in Ferrari's heritage as one of the greatest mid-engine supercars they've ever produced, especially the Super Limited and Tracked Focus Challenge Straight Ale variant. The 3.6-liter naturally aspirated V8 delivers 400 horsepower, a hearty figure that helps take the 360 all the way up to 183 miles per hour if you're brave enough to keep your foot planted that long, with Hagerty pitching a good example at $80,000. The 360 Modena is a tempting choice if you're in the market for a mid-engine Ferrari with real supercar performance. 1997 Ferrari 456 GT, $84,800. Need something a little more practical? The 456 GT may be the answer for you. only marginally more expensive than the 360 above. This handsome GT is the first of our Ferrari models in this list to feature a traditional touring design. The sweeping bonnet hides a 448 horsepower 5.5-liter V12 which powers the rear wheels. With a 2+ seating layout in the middle, perfect for hopping across states in total luxury. While the 456 GT is not cheap in any sense of the word, we think it's a relative bargain in comparison to other Ferraris of the era, and it makes an interesting alternative to a modern GT car, plus it should at least hold its value, if not appreciate over the next few years. 1976 Ferrari 308 GTB, $85,500. Time to wind the clock back again and visit the 308 series. This time in the shape of the chiseled GTB, popular in motorsport. The 308 GTB has proven itself not only on track, but also as a super cool rally car contender, quite unusual for a classic mid-engine sports car, although the 308 has taken many interesting guises over the years. When shopping for a cheap 308 GTB, be sure to only check out steel-bodied variants, as the rarer fiberglass-bodied examples fetch easily double, proving that exclusivity really does come with a hefty price tag. 1991 Ferrari 348 TS, $86,700. A precursor to the ever-popular Ferrari 355. The 348 is a sleek retro supercar that demands respect. Side slats are reminiscent of the poster car Testarossa, and the styling is a perfect blend of 80s hard edges and 90s soft lines, with many variations available. It's important to note that the TS is the cheapest 348 available on the used car market, with hard-top TB examples fetching slightly more, and rare limited models like the Competizione fetching hundreds of thousands more. The 348 has been climbing aggressively in price over the last decade, with Hagerty now placing a good example at $86,700. 2005 Ferrari 612 Scaglietti, $89,000. Not many modern Ferraris have been as controversial as the 612 Scaglietti, but the striking looks really did divide opinions nearly 20 years ago now when this was first released. This is likely the reason these have stayed so affordable for so long, and $89. Zero really is a comparable bargain for a 540 horsepower 5.7-liter V12 Ferrari capable of 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds and 199 miles per hour flat out. Moreover, the 612 Scaglietti was over $250 zero when new and still feels, looks and drives like a modern supercar even today. This might just be the perfect choice for the prancing horse enthusiast who wants to do some serious miles in perfect comfort. 2002 Ferrari 575M Maranello, $92,500. Despite the 575M being the most expensive on our list, with Hagerty putting $92,500 as a solid figure for a good example, we think this is still one of the most underrated and undervalued Ferraris of modern times. The Pininfarina-styled bodywork is achingly handsome. Plus, the naturally aspirated V12 was lifted from the earlier 550 and stretched out from 5.5 to 5.7 liters, now developing 434 horsepower and 434 pounds-foot of torque, an icon from its inception. The 575M was named after the Maranello factory where Ferrari have always resided and handcrafted all their legendary models from. The provenance was there from day one. The 575M is a modern hero and a fantastic buy if you can find a well-maintained example under $100. Zero.